I'm Julie Fei-Fan Balzer, and today I'm going to show you how to take this little wooden briefcase and turn it into a fabulous Father's Day gift. We're going to go ahead and we're going to create a wood inlay decoration for it that's just going to make it look amazing. So I'm here at my computer and I'm using ScanNCut Canvas, which is a free online program, and I'm simply going to log into my account, and anybody can create a free account. It just gives you some more tools to work with your ScanNCut. Once I come to this page full of projects, I actually want to create a new project, so I'm just going to go ahead and click on the new, and I'll be brought to a blank screen. So now I'm ready to build our project. So this thing that says logo isn't really technically what you may think of a logo, like a business logo. What it actually is it's a series of different word designs. And so what I'm going to choose is Dad. That seems appropriate for Father's Day, doesn't it? And then I know that the little briefcase I'm putting this on is smaller than this. So I'm going to go up to the Properties panel, which is this tiny thing. If you hit it, looks like 3 little lines, and you click on it and it brings it down. And I know that my briefcase is about 5 inches, so I'm going to make it a little bit smaller than 5 inches. I'm going to make mine 4.7, hit return, and then it resizes. So once this is resized, I'm ready to go ahead and decorate it. So I'm going to try to leave this Properties panel open. If at any time it closes, I just click on that little black. It's purple now, but when it's closed, it's going to be black. Anyway, I'm going to hit the black back button, and then I'm going to go right into border. Okay, now there are a lot of different borders to choose from. I'm going to start at the top with this little one, and then I'm going to go ahead and resize it so that it's going to fit inside the Dad. I also need to rotate it, so I'm just going to go into the Properties panel, hit 90 degrees, typing that on my keyboard, hit return, and there you go. It flips around 90 degrees, and I want to put it right into that A. Now it's not quite the same angle, so I can go ahead and I can grab that green button, and just using my mouse, I'm tilting this. I can use the arrow keys on my keyboard to go ahead and move that over. It still looks like it's a little bit big, so I might make it a little bit smaller. I might also make it a little bit narrower. Lots of customizable things. Then again, I'm just going to use the arrow keys to go ahead and move it around where I want it to be. And then I can drag it around and see, and then I'll click off so that I can see a little bit more. You can also, of course, zoom in if you want at any time to see how it's going. And sometimes when it's a little bit larger, then you can work with things a little more easily, but I like the way that that looks. So now I want to add, I think, this Rickrack border, so I just hit it. And if anything you can't see, if I just scroll up, you can see there it is on my screen. It's just because I'm working zoomed in, it's a little harder to see, but I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to resize it, and then I'm going to rotate it again, 90 degrees, hit return, there it goes. And now I'm ready to go ahead. Let's place it in the big D first. So I'm going to just resize it so it fits in there nicely. And it's a good thing, especially since we're cutting this out of wood, to have a nice border around stuff and not put anything very too close to the edges, because it'll just, the cuts will be a little bit thin and dangerous. So once that's good, I'm going to hold down the Option key on my keyboard and I'm going to drag this over. Oops, that didn't quite work. I'm going to click on it first, then I'm going to hit the Option key, then I'm going to go ahead and drag it. There you go. And now you can see I get a duplicate. It's a little too big, so I'm going to go ahead and squish it. So I just want to make sure that I have only that item selected, and I squish it. And then I'm going to move it into place. There it is. And then I want to decorate the right side of all the letters. So I'm going to hit the black back arrow. I'm going to go ahead to Basic Shapes, and I'm going to look for a shape that interests me. I happen to like this shape here. I think it's attractive, so I'm going to grab it. It's also quite large. Obviously, that's not going to fit on there. So I'm going to go ahead and resize it, and guess what? I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees because I want everything to be facing the same way. So once I have that, I can now see if I've sized it correctly, so I can drag it in there. It still seems a little bit large, so I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And then go ahead and drag it over. The thing is, all of this decoration is really, it's your taste, it's what you want, it's, you know, there's no rules here. It's really just what feels good to you. If you have a dad who likes golf or a dad who likes, you know, the circus, just feel free to decorate with whatever it is that you feel is appropriate. So I'm just going ahead and I am dragging some of these out, and I've just been hitting the Option key to give myself multiples. Now, of course, you'll notice that the A again is tilted, and yet these are not tilted. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a little tilt so that they fit in nicely there, and I can move them around as I want. I might make them a little bit narrower if I want just here. It's all these little adjustments that really make this custom, and of course you can save this and reuse it over and over again. Now let's see, I want to add some more shape, so I'm just going to keep hitting the Option key and dragging out. And I might even, let's see, I might even do something a little bit fun, which is in the D, also angle them because of that curve. So I can take both these two that I just added and drag them out, and there you go. Looks pretty good, but they're a little too close, so maybe I'll squish them and squish them. Everything is so customizable. That's one of my favorite things about working with ScanNCut in Anyway, is that you can just get exactly what you want all the time, which is really great. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep dragging around and fussing with it until I am happy with it. And once I do that, I want to finish up the other D. So maybe I'll drag one of these squished ones over, and I think I want to squish it a lot. So the thing I like too in terms of design is that these are all the same shape but slightly altered, which I think makes them a little more interesting. So there you go. And again, remember, you want to leave some space between these pieces because we are going to be cutting them out of wood. So it's going to be, you know, you want it to be a little bit of breathing room there. Okay, good. So if you make any mistakes, like I just moved that dad, I just hit, I'm on a Mac, so I hit Command Z or undo. You can also hit this back button here, which is also the undo button. Now let me just add on my last little bits here of decoration. Oops. And again, I'm going to hit this back button here, which is going to undo that move that I did, because what I need to do is click on it and then hit the Option key and drag it in order to duplicate. So then I'm going to go ahead and rotate, move it over with my arrow keys, and then just do this. So have fun with your designs. And you could do this, it doesn't have to be dad. You could do this for mom, for grandpa, for, you know, Uncle Joe, whatever it is. You can use any name. You could do this, same idea for a different holiday. If you didn't want to do a name, you could say, you know, happy anniversary, happy wedding. You could say hello, joy, whatever it is. You could do this for Christmas. This is just an example of what we're doing today. So once you have your whole dad created, you're going to go ahead and select all the parts just by dragging it off. And I can tell they're all selected because that little blue ant line is running around. Then I'm going to go up to the Edit menu, and I'm going to say Group, and then you'll see there's just one single line. And now this means that all these parts are moving as one. So I'm going to go ahead and download this, and I'm going to choose to send it wirelessly to my machine using ScanNCut Transfer. So I'm just going to hit that button. It's going to tell me it's okay, and now we are ready to head to the ScanNCut and cut this out. So I'm back in my machine, and I've loaded onto my medium tack mat 2 pieces of different colored wood veneer that have an adhesive backing. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead into Pattern, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit the wireless button, and it's going to retrieve that file that we created. But I need to scan in my wood pieces to make sure that this is perfect placement. Now I know we only have one dad and we have 2 pieces of wood veneer, but it's going to be fine because in just a second we're going to go ahead and we're going to add a second one. So now that the machine is done scanning, I can drag that dad right into place there, and then I can go up into the editing functions and I can add a second one, and then I can drag that second one right onto my second piece of wood veneer, and then I'm going to hit OK, and I'm ready to cut. Now I've already done a test cut, so I know what my wood veneer is going to cut at. So this is my standard blade. It's at a 4. I have no pressure and my speed is down at a 1. But you should do a test cut to make sure that you have the right settings for your machine. Now that we're done cutting, I'm going to go ahead and unload the mat. And one of the things that you'll notice is that I calibrated my blade so that it cut through the wood veneer but not through the adhesive backing. So this is going to come off as a single sheet. And that way I'm going to be able to now create the little wood veneer pieces because the adhesive backing is still on here, and yet the actual wood, there you go, did go ahead and cut. So let's go ahead and put the briefcase together. So the first step is I'm going to peel very carefully this large D off, and I want to make sure that the insides stay stuck onto the backing. So I'm going to be careful, and it's a little bit lacy because of the cutout, so I want to make sure not to just yank it, but to be kind of gentle and ease it out. There you go. So there's the big D. So I'm going to temporarily put it down but not push hard because I want to make sure that it's going to fit. And now I'm going to go ahead and grab the A and the other D. And you can see how thin this wood veneer is that's on the adhesive, and that's part of the reason it's so bendable, but you can also see how I'm like catching the inside decoration here on the A, so I'm trying to leave it behind. And don't worry, if it does come out like this one is coming out, I can just pop it out with my finger, like so, and then make sure that it gets just stuck back onto that sheet so I don't lose it, because I'm gonna need it. And I'm just gonna continue to slowly manipulate this, bending and pulling until I manage to get it up. So once I have it, then I'm going to go ahead and also lay it gently on the box. And then once the pieces feel like they're lined up to me and I like the placement and everything straight, you could use a ruler if you wanted to, but I always feel like life is too short for rulers. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to firmly adhere it down. So now this is adhered on there. So now the super fun wood inlay part comes into play, which is now I'm going to take the opposite color, and since I know these match perfectly, what I'm going to do now is remove the opposite of what we removed before. So now I want to take out the little extra parts, and I'm going to go ahead and inlay them. Now they should fit perfectly, just like inlay, because it matches, and it's worth it to take a couple extra seconds to really smash them in there so that you get that completely smooth. If I touch this, my hand runs completely smooth over there. It looks exactly like really expensive wood inlay. You know, I recently was at a museum where they showed a video on how wood inlay is actually done traditionally, and my mouth dropped open because I cannot even describe to you the amount of work and effort it takes to create wood inlay. It involves chisels and layers and like endless cutting and tiny little work. I'm just amazed that anyone has ever done it. So when I came up with this sort of super easy cheat for giving the look of wood inlay, I was super excited because it just takes hours and hours out. And I am using my thumbnail to really make sure that that is mushed in flush there. I'm even going to take the inside of the D and include that as part of my wood inlay here. So I'm just going to continue on to carefully go ahead and add all these little pieces in so that they're seamless. Now we're going to go ahead and do the other side the same way that we did the first, but this time we will just have opposite colors. So I'm going to be starting with this sort of lighter birch color, gently laying it down. So now Dad's briefcase is all done. The veneer looks fantastic. So a couple hints. If you have any little places that aren't quite lined up, that you didn't get it quite perfect, you can take a little piece of sandpaper. You can just rub that down. Just remember, this is very, very thin wood, so if you rub too hard, you're going to get to the bottom. The other thing is, if you can't find a little wooden box, you can actually do this on any surface, but just take this opposite outside and go ahead and put that around it, and it'll look like it's all completely wood. But now, this fantastic little briefcase is ready to fill with a gift card, a cookie, Dad's favorite candy, whatever it is. It's a great way to wrap a gift and give a gift at the same time. So, thanks so much for watching, and for more tips, tricks, and tutorials, I hope you'll visit my blog at balzerdesigns.typepad.com, and of course, don't forget about the ScanNCut website at ScanNCut.com.